And this particular one's focusing on the RFID division of MTI antennas. So with that, we have Reuven Doran from MTI on the line with us. He's going to be doing a presentation. Should go about 20 minutes, and then we should have 10 minutes left over for question and answers. If questions come up as we go through the slides, feel free to go ahead and type them right there in your toolbar or in the question box, and we'll go through all those questions at the end of the webinar. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Reuven. Reuven, here you go.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking from Israel. It's about 8 p.m. here. And I'm going to present you the MTI Wireless Edge RFID antennas. Okay. Jeff, how do I scroll the slide to the next one? Jeff? Okay. So we are MTI Wireless. Just a second. Okay. Yes, now. Okay. So we are MTI Wireless Edge. We are part of MTI Group. Our holding company, MTI Computers, is public company traded on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, and we are MTI Wireless Edge. We are also public company traded on the London Stock Exchange. We have our fully owned production facility in India for 3 good reasons. One is for a second source of manufacturing. 2, for cost reduction. And 3, we sell antennas to the Arab world. They don't buy directly from Israel, so we ship from India. Okay. So as I said, we are an Israeli company, offices in Israel. We are not big company. We are less than 100 people, but we are not young company. We are about 40 years old company. We started as military antenna company, and by the way, except the price, our antennas are military products. They are not toys. That is our strategy. We leverage military technology to commercial about 12 years ago. First market that we took was the fixed broadband, point-to-point, point-to-multipoint. We are world leader in that market, about 35% market share. And next stage in the strategy is to leverage the volume of the fixed broadband. We produced about almost 1 million antennas last year, so we leverage this volume to RFID. RFID volume is roughly about 10 to 15% of the fixed broadband, but because of the high volume of the fixed broadband, we can be very price competitive in the RFID antennas. Okay. We specialize in flat panel antennas. We do everything in-house. We design, develop, manufacture everything in-house, which is not so common these days. We cover HF almost to 100 gigahertz, and I told that already. What is important for you is marked in blue. About 10% of our workforce devoted to quality control. This is not a number, this is statement. Every antenna is tested. Last year, I think we shipped to the United States about roughly 100,000 antennas. Only 4 had returned, and also for very minor rejections. We have the state-of-the-art antenna test and design technology. speaking in numbers, this compact range anechoic chamber cost us about $2 million when we were less than $10 million company. Our direct competitors are the companies, the antenna divisions of Raytheon, TRW. They compete against us in military projects, but they are not interested in RFID. Our competitors in the RFID, they don't have our technical capabilities. So we try to be a big fish in a small pond. And RFID fits very well to our company capability and size. So we have the state-of-the-art antenna test technology. We have in-house workshop. We can produce a new prototype antenna very, very quickly. We have wideband antennas, all the polarization, if it is linear, circular, dual circular, microwave antennas, and our antennas are designed to last forever. We send them to life expectancy test, and after 25 years, we ask the lab to stop the test. This is our financial figures, and we are about $16 to $17 million company right now, and we are profitable. RFID, some nice numbers. RFID is a growing market, and it looks that it was a good decision to go into it. In 2010, RFID business was about 10% of our total sales, and first half of 2011 it jumped to 12%, and annually 2011 it was 15%, and I hope that this year it will be even larger. Some nice pictures on our military capability, just to show you that we know how to do not only flat panel antennas. So we do everything for military: communication, jamming, direction finding, smart arrays, stupid arrays, everything, airborne antennas, submarine antennas. For example, these are submarine antennas, direction finding antennas. They were shipped to the American Army 3 years ago to Iraq. Terrestrial antennas, very wideband antennas, airborne antennas. That is the concept of the fixed broadband. We do the base station antennas as well as the subscriber. And our customers are all around the globe. This is the main subject of this presentation, RFID. And MTI was and is very serious about RFID. Cumulatively, we invested something like $4 to $5 million in development and of RFID antennas, and we have the largest portfolio in the industry. We have much more than 100 models, but above 100 models doesn't matter. So we have many RFID antennas for 433 megahertz active RFID, 2.4 gigahertz to extend the Wi-Fi based RFID technologies, and the vast majority is the UHF antennas. We have European, American, and Japanese frequency. The FCC, the American frequency, is also the Chinese frequency range, and the Japanese Japan is now migrating also to the 902 to 928, so this is the most dominant frequency range, and as you can see, the vast majority, I mean, the most of our models are for FCC frequency band. On top of the standard antenna, we have what's called special antenna development. We developed portal antennas with very wide elevation beam width, very narrow azimuth beam width. Out of these models, this became a standard antenna, and it became so popular that we recently invested in the tooling required to make a tool radome for that. The previous model was with vacuum form radome, and now we can offer this antenna also for outdoor use. We have forklift antennas, near field. Near field is the buzzword. We have two types of near field antenna. Every antenna has near field. In close proximity to the radome, this is the near field. We have two types of near field antenna. One is magnetic field antenna that has a very, very strong reading area, but it can read long distances up to 2 to 3 meters. And we have what's called near field confined reading area, where you can read only in close proximity to the antenna. And in this model, we suppress the far field. And we also do antennas for handheld readers. That's our typical antenna look-alike. We have linear antenna, single circular antenna, and dual circular antenna. We have also other dressing to our antennas elements, low profile, more industrial connector on the bottom, but these antennas are relatively much more expensive, almost twice as the standard antenna look, because they use non-standard building blocks. This is a typical environmental spec of our antennas, and as you can see, this is not a commercial product. It's really, this antenna, it's really strong product. I don't know one of our competitors that quotes flammability and that kind of spec. That's a good example of our antennas. We came from the communication, and in communication there are some antenna parameters that are very important, such as cross polarization and side lobe, which is really not important in RFID, especially in passive UHF. We discovered that there are 3 important parameters in RFID. By the way, we always quote worst case. We don't quote typical, average, nice to have, wishful thinking. We quote, when you get our spec, you get the sometimes when I read my competitors' specs, I don't know if to laugh or to cry, but that's another issue. Most important parameter is the VSWR, and what we see here is the one, we quote this antenna 1.3 to 1. 1.3 to 1, it's here and here. Most of the range is less than that. I would say that typically this antenna has 1-to-1 VSWR. By the way, VSWR is the efficiency of the antenna. The efficiency of the transaction of the electrical power from the reader that creates the electromagnetical field by the antenna. So this transaction is the efficiency is the BSWR. The lower the better. Means that all the signal goes to the field and not goes back to the reader after hitting the antenna. So typically this antenna has 1-to-1. 1-to-1 is about 99% efficiency. Second important parameter is the axial ratio. Axial ratio is the quality of the circulation of the antenna. You would expect that the antenna will read the tag at any orientation. Circular antenna will read the tag at any orientation. In reality, there are some angles that the antenna will have better gain, and some angles when the gain will be less good. Axial ratio is the difference between the maximum and minimum linear gain. Ideal antenna has the axial ratio 0. In reality, it never happens. And this antenna, for example, has 3 dB axial ratio. But as you can see, typical value here is less than 2 dB. Means very, very good antenna. Third parameter that is important is the gain. But the gain for itself is not important. Gain and beamwidth are inverse proportional. And the idea behind the RFID antennas is to tailor the antenna per the application. Depends on the reading area, you need to select the right beamwidth. So this antenna has, for example, 120 degrees on the elevation and 50 on the azimuth, which is very, very good antennas for portals. This specific model is very, very expensive, and the 60/30 gives much better cost-effective solution. But if only one antenna is needed, mandatory, this antenna can do the job. That's example of our antennas. Our antennas comes in couples, and what we see here that we have two antennas. They have the same beamwidth, same frequency, same size, same gain. If I didn't tell you that these are two different models, you wouldn't notice it from the outside. But here is the difference. This one has much better VSWR and much better axial ratio. This antenna is about 20 times better than this one, but costs 40% less. I don't need to mention that the best seller in the US as well as in other regions is the low-cost version. That's another example of 1-foot antenna with, and here is the difference, and it is even more significant in the European frequency band. For an unknowledgeable person, this seems to be better antenna than this one. But as you can see, the effective gain of this antenna is 6 dBIC, while this one, sorry, for this one is 5.5, while this one is 5.7, the effective gain. So this one is much better antenna than this one. Go on. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here is here we present a very interesting accessory. This is our enclosure. We have several models of enclosure. It is die-cast aluminum, and the punchline is the price, including all the accessories, the mounting kit, the cable gland, the gasket. The price is $50 per unit. So if we take, for example, 1 foot antenna at a volume of 1,000 pieces, it costs about $40. You have a solution of less than $100 for dock door out solution, very cost effective. This is the point of sale antennas. We have antennas for point of sale and EA and POS and EOS. It's not only for POS, it's the magnetic antenna. It is used for anti-theft, the EAS and OS antennas. We have forklift antennas, and that's a partial list of our RFID customers. If you buy internet, you get our antennas in Magic, in Teleflex, Siri. We sell a lot of antennas in China, and that speaks for itself. And to summarize that, we are RFID dedicated. We have very nice look for our antennas. Our antennas are very robust, and they are high quality, low cost, and we are a very stable company, and we focus on antenna. We are committed to the RFID market, and that's it. And we do only antennas, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Thank you very much, Reuven. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Okay, it looks like, Reuven, you were able to answer all the questions on RFID. I know that for some people it was a lot of new information, some others that probably know a lot about it. So I thank you for that. And once again, my name is Jeff Beasley with Microcom. Reuven, thank you for going over it. I will get this uploaded to our YouTube page. So if you have any questions, you can refer back to it. You can also contact your Microcom salesperson, or if you can contact sales@microcomtech.com with any other questions. So, Reuven, I thank you. We're going to close this out now.
Jeff. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.